It's the Let's Get To It podcast. And that's a to it with a you because I always got you in mind. So if you don't mind, let me break it down for you. Because at the end of the day, it's all for you. It's really all for you. And I am King Sam the Dirtbag. If you heard something about me that's crazy, 9 times out of 10 it's probably true. So if you want the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Matter of fact, y'all can't handle the truth. Court is in session, and I'm back in business, Baltimore. Man, first of all, I want to wish all y'all fathers out there happy Father's Day. I was looking it up. It was saying Father's Day, the celebration of Father's Day was started by a single father of six. I think one of his daughters said she wanted to, commemorate her father, do something special for her father, like sort of like Mother's Day, but for fathers, because it wasn't one yet. So, you know, for all those that's holding it down, even the absentee, you still got kids out here, and it's never too late to redeem yourself and try to do the right thing. At least try to get some redemption out here. Shawshank, you know. But just give a shout out. Just give a shout out, cause it's a hard task. It's a hard task just living life. So it's, it got to be some more added on to that if you're trying to provide, guide, and teach, you know, your descendants, your offspring, your legacy. You're trying to do something for them. Sometimes, you might want to go harder because you like, you might feel your parents ain't doing it, but you don't know what type of life they live. So, you're going to honor and respect thy father. They say mother and father, but it's Father's Day, so I'm gonna say honor and respect thy father. But off of that into this, I wanted to get into the topic of Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian. I don't know if y'all know Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian, but they had the hit song Slow Down. And then I think when him and Sadat X branched off, they had another big hit, Punch Jump Up and Get Beat Down. Back in the I say late '90s, early 2000s. They used to be still relevant. I think they big moment in time was back in the early '90s when Brand Nubian was kind of a big thing. They were one of the major rap groups. It was a situation where I think Lord Jamar he had I guess a difference in opinion from DJ Vlad because he felt like DJ Vlad was disrespecting the honorable, Louis Farrakhan. So, I think he was putting words into Farrakhan's mouth saying that Farrakhan was, Jew bashing and hating and stuff like that. But, Jamar was on the opposite end of that. And he was leading the rally cry like, that man, the culture vulture, man, why we supporting him? And a lot of people took that on. You had the people that was still supporting DJ Vlad, still rocking with him, still showing up. But Lord Jamar was one of the major ones. And I ain't gonna lie, when I heard that, and I heard the context with, of what it was, and the impact that Farrakhan has had on a lot of, black communities. He has been the face of the Nation of Islam. If y'all know what the Nation of Islam is the NOI, is the group that brought forth people like Malcolm X. And, if you go to any big city, they got the Final Call newspapers out there. And, it's a subdivision. It's not Sunni Muslim. It's you know, Islam, for lack of better words, for those that was in the black community. They brought Islam to the black community and they was giving out knowledge itself. Now, how I got introduced to the Nation of Islam, you know, a deep understanding of what it was through the 5% Nation. When I was younger, I used to participate. I used to travel around as one of the guys. You know, at this time, I no longer travel around like that. to myself, I felt like, you know, I was experiencing things that I couldn't contain in my book of life. So, I decided to go ahead and, you know, still seek knowledge, but not have it just confined to me being a 5%, so to speak. So I wanted to start off. Let me do this right quick. Let me get into this. See if I can tap into this myself. Okay, hold on. Alright. So through the Nation of Islam, that's how you get the 5%. I didn't learn this till after I was a member of the 5% Nation. And at first we was going to, like, we was programming. We was doing programming. And hold on. Let me send something out there. We was programming. Like, they'll let us get in there and have ciphers and sessions, but we was going under the Moorish size temple banner because it wasn't no Moors where I was at. I was at such as one, and it was such as one. I think that's in, I want to say Waverly, Virginia, somewhere off Route 58, and at some point, a couple of Moors size temple members did come in. A couple Moors did come in, so we could no longer. At first, we was going with them, but then after a while, I think more and more Moors started coming, so we wasn't going under the Moors. So what a few of us used to do was still go program, still get out because we didn't want to be in the cell at the same time. So what we was just doing is going to the Nation of Islam, and I was already familiar with one of the members of the Nation of Islam, Brother Willie. And he's from Richmond. He was at sessions with me, mentor, so to speak. And he used to give me more in-depth knowledge because he was like, man, if you want to know about that, this is the root of that. So, he was telling me the history of Clarence 13X, that he was actually a member of the Nation of Islam. And I want to say he might have been a member of the Fruit of Islam, the FOI. I don't know for sure. That I might not have, correct information on. But I do know he was a member of the Nation of Islam, is where he got the 13X from. But wound up breaking off, and with him, he still had his book of life. That was his lessons, and he shared that with a younger generation. I guess trying to get them some sort of value, some sort of consciousness at the same time, and some sort of self-worth. Give them some structure. He wasn't being as rigorous with it as the Nation of Islam, but he was trying to give out some of the knowledge that he knew. I didn't know this at the time, but I did learn that, and I learned that those same lessons that we got, I thought they was unique to the 5% Nation, but they actually come directly from the Nation of Islam. That is the lessons that you get in the Nation of Islam. So it kind of, I was like, oh, wait. So it's like, this is good, but this is the root. So, I gave up, praises because you can't get past the root. When you sit searching for information, when you're trying to learn something, you're trying to find out different things, why skip past the root? So it just, I never really strictly sold into. I participated in some of the programming of the Nation of Islam. They allowed me to come in, they allowed me to participate. They knew that I traveled under the 5% Nation, but they still embraced me because they seen those lessons that I had were a part of the Nation of Islam. So back to the whole point of this story. A lot of blacks in America are familiar with the Nation of Islam. They are familiar with, the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They are. So it's like, he dropped jewels on us. He instilled pride in us. A lot of people, at a time where, a lot of people that may have been African Americans, blacks, Negroes, some people we term ourselves as indigenous these days. You had a low self-esteem. You didn't have a high evaluation of yourself because of what was put on you. You looking at pictures of Jesus and it's showing somebody white with blonde hair and blue eyes. You told that is kind of almost pushed at us that we were less than. So to have somebody come in and, try to instill some sort of pride in us, man, we took to that and it helped us grow as a people. It helped us grow as a people that we ain't always got to be subservient. We ain't always got to bow down. Because, they even had their own military. They did the fruit. The fruit. So, when Vlad came in and dispersed that man's name, a lot of the people in our community, we didn't like that. We didn't appreciate that. If y'all get in, tap in. If y'all familiar with the situation with, DJ Vlad coming off as a culture vulture, y'all come in and leave y'all comments. Like the video, thumbs up, like the video, show me some love. If you ain't already subscribe to the video, leave a comment and share if you want to. But again, I was talking about Lord Jamal's, difference of opinion, his back and forth with DJ Vlad. Now, we're going to bring it full circle because he was trying to convince others not to mess with DJ Vlad. Like, y'all don't mess with DJ Vlad. He's a culture vulture. He disparaged the honorable, Farrakhan. Y'all stop doing business with that man. Y'all making that man platform blow up, and he using his platform to espouse things like that. That's knocking down our leaders in our community. So I think he had convinced Godfrey, the comedian Godfrey, not to come on and comedian Godfrey had put some distance between him and DJ Vlad. I think he stopped coming on the show because him and Vlad had a disagreement based on what Lord Jamar said. Now, we're going to bring it up a little bit. It was an incident where Lord Jamar, he was at a time, I think he's a flat earther or something like that. I ain't sure, but he had some different opinions. So I think Godfrey was trying to get him up there with some guy, some scientist or whatever it is. I don't know. And I think Lord Jamar snapped. I didn't see all of that. I just heard the clips of it and stuff. So Lord Jamar, he ain't want to participate, and I think he started snapping and all that stuff. And he was basically saying that, I was caught off guard. Y'all trying to embarrass me. Now, those are those two situations. Him and Vlad fell out over Vlad's comments about Farrakhan. And then he convinced Godfrey to stop dealing with him. And Godfrey was like, Godfrey not even black, American. He's real African, Nigerian, I think. But he was standing with him because he said, this is right. I'm trying to, I don't want to be a part of this. If the man disrespected and he didn't want to apologize, and I don't think Vlad apologized. So, fast forward, Lord Jamal fell out with Godfrey because he snapped on his podcast and was, screaming on Godfrey, talking about Godfrey trying to set him up. But Godfrey's like, no, you keep espousing some of this stuff. I got people that can debate with you. Do your thing, spread some knowledge. If you right, speak on the facts, if you wrong. This is your chance to get whatever you saying off your chest. So fast forward to right now, as of late, I think it was not last week, the week before, Lord Jamal then backtracked, and now he back on DJ Vlad again. And I think he was one of the first regulars on DJ Vlad. Stop. And you know, it's been 5 years or something like that. It's been some time since that happened. Now he back on DJ Vlad and did like a 10. Man, they got the joint chopped up to about a 10-parter. I think I seen 9 parts or 10 parts or something like that. I ain't watch all of them. I just watched the first, I say 2 of them to kind of get the gist of what's going on. And you know, a lot of people, how it was brought to my attention was Gully TV. Gully TV. I don't know if y'all know about Gully TV. I'm gonna give a shout out to him. You know, I heard his thoughts on it. Gully TV, like, man, that man is sellout. You know, he a sellout. And I ain't want to really weigh in. You know, I ain't want to condemn that man to being a sellout because, you know, when I heard him, it's 2 grown people having a conversation. You know, it sounded. I don't know if it was sincere or not. I don't know if it was coming from the heart or not. I couldn't really tell. To me, it was a little bit of ay. You know, it was a whole bunch of stuff being said up there that wasn't initially said because I think Lord Jamal and Joan talk about I was really rooting for you where everybody was going to get. I'm like, huh? To my knowledge, to my recollection, to what I remember, you was the one that said nobody should mess with this man because he a culture vulture. Then he gonna come on DJ Vlad podcast talking about, you know, he was rooting for him and, you know, he was behind the scenes, you know, stopping people from hating on him. And I'm like, I don't remember the events, you know, transpiring in that. Cause you know I watched DJ Vlad. You know some of the he has some good guests up there that other platforms don't capture the way he do. You know he been doing it for a while. Not saying he the best, but he come with some good content. He come with some good content. So I ain't gonna sit here and act like I don't watch DJ Vlad because sometimes I do. He got some good stuff up there, and you'll see some interviews. There's other podcasts up there. Like I checks out, you know, Gully TV. So when I seen it, it kind of, you know, caught me off guard because I'm sitting there like, oh man, it sounded like the man was walking back. I don't know what was his reasoning for going in that direction because if I'm not mistaken, I think he got his own situation podcast or something. He got his own platform. I thought he did. Well, I don't know his whole situation, but like, it's not super hard to set up in front of a camera and kind of put your own situation. It might be hard to grow your audience and get people, you know, to tap in with you, but you ain't have to go up there if that wasn't your true intention. So I don't know why he went up there. When I watched the few that I watched, maybe it was, you know, partial. I had to go back and check out the whole thing. It was odd. It was odd. Now, will I go as far as to say that man a sellout? It's hard for me to do that. Why? Because it'll be the easy thing to be like, oh, he sold us out. But if you think about entertainment, if you think about podcasting, if you think about social media, it's all selling out. Like all of it is selling out. You trying to sell something. You trying to put your narrative out there. You trying to, you know, share your thoughts with people. At the same time, you might be trying to sell T-shirts, or you might be trying to generate income, or whatever you're doing on especially YouTube. Whether you trying to gather an audience, so you maybe at some point, maybe to mobilize this audience, turn them into consumers, or whatever you trying to do, or if you trying to like you up here doing the tap dance thing, like that's what this is another form of show business. You know, you can set up shop right in your crib, but it's show business, it's lights, it's cameras, it's action. And when people when you into entertainment, when you into media, all of it is a part of the parlor tricks. It's all an act. Like you might be keeping it real or whatever you're doing, but you entertaining. You up here shucking and jiving. You tap dancing. All of it is tap dancing. All of it is tap dancing. And you might be bringing straight facts, but even when you look at MSNBC, it's tap dancing. It's news. It's all a form of, entertainment, media, selling out. So it's like, I get it. I get it. But even when right here, I'm sitting up here talking to you, but is an investment to me. Like I ain't making no money off this. My page ain't even monetized yet. But say I do blow. Say I do get a lot of people coming in and watching me. You think I ain't gonna be trying to sell sweatshirts and t-shirts and whatever else got it, whatever else. If somebody I know got a business, I'm trying to steer you in that direction. If somebody's selling something, I'm trying to steer you in that direction. If somebody got a business, I'm trying to send you over there. I'm trying to direct traffic. That's what this is all about. Trying to capture your eyes and motivate you. And hopefully I got ideas. If I got a book to sell, if I got a TV show, this right here cut the middleman out. I might not got a large reach like some of these bigger studios and platforms got, but I could go straight and direct, straight to you. If you choose to watch me, I could I could make a little movie right on my own. I could write a book, publish it, and let you know it's right there. I could do drop shipping. What you want, I got it. I send it straight to you. What? This is nice. I like this. You want to know where to get it? It's from here. My man got a consulting firm. You go over there. That's what this is all about. So it's like, it's all a form of selling out. But I think at times, sometimes we look at certain people when they do it and we liking them and we loving them. Certain people might have rubbed us the wrong way and we beside ourselves trying to, man, he'll sell out. Look at him. But it's all crazy. It's all a ish show. It is. So, I ain't want to wait and call that man a straight sellout because I really don't know the dynamics. Maybe some of these guys know a little bit more. But it is content. It is content. So, I ain't going to sit here and strike that man down, put the judgment on, and say he a straight sellout. I'm going to say it was odd. It was odd. And, no matter how he packaged it up and wrap it up, sometimes when you do stuff, people want you to be committed to it. Especially if you're trying to get them to do the same thing. That's like a situation where somebody beefing with somebody, you ain't got nothing to do with it. This is actually his beef against him. He all in your ear, yeah, he a sucker, he this, that, yeah, man, yeah, this, that. Next thing you know, you in the middle of this man and this man's beef. You don't even know what's going on. You might be a little bit braver than this dude complaining to you about this dude. And so you might take a little action. You might poke your chest out like, that's my man's, Yeah, he don't like you, I don't like you. Next thing you know, something negative come your way, or you might be in business and you suffering because you participating in these two guys' problem. Next thing you know, whatever them befell you, it might have not been enough to take you down or destroy your business or stop your movement, but it might have kind of, slow. It might have been an inconvenience. But time passed. These two dudes come back together. You the one ain't had nothing to do with it, and now both of them two don't mess with you no more, and you ain't even had nothing to do with it. This wasn't even your situation. You couldn't care less about it. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. So my suggestion in these type of situations, when somebody try to put it on you like that, and they upset with somebody, and man, you should be upset with them too. Look at them, shake your head, and like let that person lead by example. Matter of fact, since he's trying to hype you up, hype him back up. Like, you don't like the man? Won't you say something about it? Why you like you want I get it, but you brought this to my attention. You go deal with it the way you see fit, man. Let me see what's going on. I'm gonna do but don't let nobody manipulate you or influence you to do something that they bring into your attention, because a lot of times that ain't nothing but manipulation, man. If somebody got a problem with somebody and they want to go on a campaign against them, you gotta allow that person to do that by himself. Especially like personal issues and stuff like that. If you say something, okay, I'm gonna send it through. I'm gonna send it through. I'm gonna process it if I can, and I'm not gonna be on the forefront of your problem. That's what we don't want to be. Let's be men now. Why? Because, like I said, you'll be the one on the front line, and this man back here, like he done did something. Because a lot of people will try to manipulate a situation. And you got to think about it. You are, or maybe, a father. You got your own life. You got your own situation that you got to think about. Because while you on the front line, and that person that sent you out there, he going home to his family. That's why he's sending you out there, because he want to go home to his family. So he don't want to endanger his family situation, but he gonna put you in a position to endanger yours. He ain't think about your kids. He ain't think about your mama. He ain't think about your sister. He ain't think about nothing. He gonna get home and he gonna be like, yeah, baby, I took care of that. So don't fall for that pitfall. Don't fall for that pitfall. Because as you can see, look at Lord Jamar. He gonna come up there and act like, man, I had your back. They not even gonna be a man and stand up on what they said. And that's how people do. That's how people do, man. I had a guy, this was a while ago, man. Matter of fact, it was more than once. I give you two situations. One, this guy, he passed away. His name was Lil Rick. I'm from Virginia. I'm from Newport News. This guy was from Charles City. I ain't know him for a can of paint. I'm in Southampton. I first landed on Southampton. There's a lot of guys from Newport News of Southampton, but I didn't get a chance to, interact with them yet. Some guys I remember from the street. I was a little younger than them, but I knew them. So all I was really, get enough time. They was sending word to me they was gonna get up with me. But I wind up this dude wind up, integrating itself into my life. Cause the time I got to Southampton, when I first got locked up, I was like 6'1", 130. Boom, had a growth spurt. From January to I say March, I went from 6'1", 131 to 6'4" and a half, 195. I got big like in a matter of 90 days. Hit a growth spurt. So time I got up to Southampton, I'm big youngin. I'm big youngin up there, Joe. Big youngin. So, he wanted, I guess he see me, he a little guy, he go, oh, what's up? So, when I first come up there, he got a situation going on with one of my homies, E. Holmes. Well, matter of fact, I ain't gonna say too many names. He got a situation with one of my homies and a couple guys from Portsmouth. He owed him some money. I don't know what's going on. So he's sitting there like, yeah, I owed him something. They putting the press on him. So I'm like, man, he funny. Keep me laughing in that junk. Sometimes I'm laughing so hard, man, I'm forgetting about the stress of being incarcerated. So I took a liking to him. So, he owed him. And I'm saying, man, you know what? What he owe you, man? What you owed him? What you owed him? He was like, I owed him this, that. I went to the commissary, put it together, put it in the bag, put it on their door. They ain't want that. I said, well, if you don't want it, then now you making it a whole problem. Now it ain't about he owe you now. You see me, I'm hanging with him. You ain't got nothing to do with this, that, do. So I said, I don't care. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I'm locked up anyway. So if we rumbling, if we fighting, we doing all the extras. Hey, you know, this how I'm passing my time anyway, wilding out of here anyway. So I don't care. So I'm telling him, man, you know, keep your head on the swivel, man, because you know is a situation now. Whatever you owe them, they ain't take it. You know, I gave it to them. I left it there. I told them that's that debt covered, but they ain't want to hear that. So here we go. We in a situation. We outside. You know, they over there by the horseshoe pit. I don't, you know, I said, look, I like to play basketball. I ain't playing no basketball. I'm gonna sit over here. You like to shoot horseshoes? Leave the horseshoe pit alone for a while, man. Come post up over here with me. You know, put our backs on the wall so we can see what's going on. Keep your head on the swivel. So he don't want to do that. Oh, they ain't gonna do nothing, man. Ain't nothing. I'm like, ain't nothing. All right. I'm gonna be right back here, man. Try. I can't make you do nothing. You your own man. So I'm sitting back there, posted up around. You know, it's an area that you really can't. Like, if you come around the corner, you can't sneak up on me from this area. I thought it would be the best area. We posted up. We out there. So if there's a problem, you got to come see us. He don't wanna. I want to play some horseshoes. All right, a game of horseshoes. Like Arrested Development, a game of horseshoes. Man, next thing I know, I hear something go walk up. I don't know what happened. I just heard some. It sounded like the impact of a fist to a face or a horseshoe to a face. I don't know what happened. I come around the corner. I see them surrounding him. It's three of them. Two guys from Portsmouth and my homeboy from Newport News. So I'm like, oh man. I'm like, man, I ain't even had too many words. I just squared off because I'm like, okay, we dancing now. So I'm, you know, squared up, bouncing around. They sitting around about to surround me. As three on one right here, one in front of me. And I said, man, you know, I'm young, I'm wild. Hit one on a good time, I'm good. You know, I don't care what y'all do after that. So in the midst of this, you know, my other homeboys, they see me, they come run over there. One guy from New York, my other older homie from around here, he come running around. That's that. I'm thinking that Rick right here with me. That's why they ain't jump on me yet, because Rick right here is me and Rick. So it's 2 against 3. That's what I'm thinking. Now everybody else come over there, you know, they disperse. I look to the side, ain't no Rick. I'm fighting for Rick, but it ain't no Rick. I don't know if y'all understand me. I'm fighting for Rick, but there's no Rick. So I look up, he done took off running, and he all the way over there by the gate where they let you out of Rick. He done left me to fight 3 people where they want to beat him up. They ain't got no problem with me. And that just go to show you that the people would allow you to fight their battles and don't care nothing about you. Don't care nothing about you. They'll have you in a situation where you get hurt, where you get in trouble, where you lose an opportunity, and they sitting off and they in the wind somewhere. That was like, man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that situation. It caught me off guard. And it was another situation that happened and that was later on. You know, after I blew the halfway house situation. I came home from the feds. I was in the feds, came home from the feds, blew the halfway house. They sent me to a holding in Farmville, Virginia. Now, it was a group of us from Newport News, but everybody else, you know, you finish your halfway house time. Some of them guys had been in there I just got in there. I don't think I've been in there for a whole month. So I still had like 5 months to go. Right there in Farmville, it's like they jail, they holding out there. So everybody left, went home. I think I got like 30 days to go. 30 days. A little about 45 to 30 days to go. And there's this one guy who came up from the feds from North, and he get into it with some guy from, I want to say this guy from Charlottesville or something. I ain't for certain. He from out there, Farmville area somewhere. Anyway, I'm all right with the other guy, but he a little drunk. They mouthing off. I think they got a situation over the phone. He owed the man some phone time, so I pressing him. You don't do this. I'm do my thing to you. I'm about to dance on your face. So I'm like, man, I know both of them. I'm cool with both of them. And I'm like, yo, chill. Like, I put my hand up like this. Bing! He hit me in the eye. I don't know if he gouged my eye or his knuckle went in my eye, but that joint hurt so much. I thought my eye was hanging out my head. And, like, I guess it teared up. So I was feeling something wet right there. And I was like, oh, that joint hurt so bad, man. I couldn't see out there, joint. I couldn't really move it. And I thought my eye was hanging out my head. I didn't want to touch it because I didn't know what was going on. I just closed my eye and I said, you know what? I guess we gonna get it in, whatever. So I swung, I glazed him on the head. It ain't catch him good, but it must have hurt him because he kind of folded up. But when he was ducking down, I caught him with the left, good up jump, pow, hit him square, raised him up. So he tried to charge me. I hit him one more time. So while he was trying to charge me, I grabbed him and I was about to take him on a ride. I was going to take him to Kings Dominion, Water Country, USA, and Busch Gardens at the same time. Finna take him on a ride, y'all. Get swinging. He finna go up off his feet. He done reached out and grabbed the bed, try to hold himself to the bed. I chopped his arm, chopped his other arm, slung him down. I'm on top of him. He trying to get up. I'm like, oh man, I used to wrestle. I fight. I do all that. I still got my eye closed. I like that so hurt. But I do all that. So, man, once I get you, man, I'm finna work you. So, one of his homeboys, I think he was a crip or something. One of his homeboys that grabbed me was trying to pull on me, but he was young, he was little, so I pushed him. I'm like, man, get out of here. Then another one of his homeboys grabbed me by the neck, put the choke in. There was some other guys that knew my brother from being locked up with him. So they kind of swarm around. Yo, we ain't gonna let this go on. This, that. Broke it up. I look up. The guy who I'm trying to stop from getting beat up, he way over there somewhere. So I'm saying, you see, hold on. Same situation. You see these guys interacting, doing they put like, and it's over you. It's not me. I didn't have a problem. But, you'll step up to the plate with somebody because you got a little heart, you got a little bravery about yourself, and you feel like, you're a little bit more outspoken. So sometimes you'll put yourself in a situation behind somebody else when you ain't got to. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it because a lot of times you'll find yourself in the mix by yourself, going through the trouble by yourself, and the other person gonna be looking at you like, I ain't asked you to do that for me. So, you gotta just be aware, be conscious of that, and, don't put yourself or allow others to put you in a situation where you fighting somebody else's battle. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And, I just gave you those two stories so you can kind of see. And then later on, they moved me out there. They took me to the hole, moved me to another unit. So I'm in the other unit with some guys from Richmond. One of the guys, I was in the halfway house. I stood up for him in the halfway house. So, he had a little bit of motion going on. He closer to his spot because I think Farmville closer to Richmond than Newport News. So when he was out, Farmville, he got his little people from his neighborhood out there. He running the block. So I get over there first. He like, what's up? What happened to your eye, man? I told him. He was like, oh man, you want me to send some people to take care of that? I was like, nah. I'm on my way out the door. I think at that time, I think I had like 30 days left. So I'm like, man, I got 30 days, man. That's nothing. If I do catch him somewhere down the line, I may or may not, man. That's my problem, man. Good looking now. So next thing you know, the dude from Norfolk that this was all over, he coming to unit. So he trying to act cool with me, like, yo, what's up? So I'm looking at him trying to dap me up. I'm like, man, keep it moving, man. Move around, man. Leave. Why you just let me get handled over you, and you ain't like, this was your situation. You was supposed to be front and center with me. Like, if I'm clutching, why you ain't clutching? Oh man, they jumped me too. I said, no, they didn't. I was sitting there. I'm in the unit. Now you gonna sit here. No, I'm talking about they jumped me after. They shouldn't have jumped you after. You should have been in motion with me. They should have been getting both of us out of the unit at the same time. Like, what is you? Dudes from Richmond, like, man, you want us to pound them out right quick? Roll them about the block? I was like, nah, man. It ain't even worth it, man. I shouldn't even participated in that, man. I shouldn't even stuck my neck out there for him. I wish I would have knew better. I would have did better. So like I said, man, some of these situations, man, don't involve yourself in, man. Allow people to work their own situations out sometimes. Because you'll jump out there and they ain't standing, you'll be standing on their business more than them. You'll be standing on business more than they standing on business. And that ain't right. That ain't your problem. That's his problem. You gotta allow people to work their way through their own situations, man. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this up, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's get to it, and we done got to it, man. We got to it, man, and that's a tool with a U, because I've always got you, man. And y'all know I'm King Sam the Dirtbag. If you heard something crazy about me, it's probably true. It's probably true. My case is closed, man. And before I get up out of here, man, y'all subscribe, y'all comment, y'all share, man. Ain't nobody really tap in with me, so I ain't holding that against you. But the next time, tap in, man. Leave a comment, get in the chat. Get in the chat. I need that interaction, engage with the page. I'm gonna give some shout outs. Give a shout out to C. Terrell Scott. Yep. Give a shout out to him. Y'all check him out on all platforms. On TikTok, I think he's moving on. YouTube as well. Give a shout out to Elite Pro Barbershop. That's right there on 368 Denver Boulevard. Went in there. He got me right last week. He cut off my beard, had me out this joint untrustworthy, but he got me right today. Well, yesterday he got me right. They cut your hair in there. They transforming people. They see you might come in there with your shoulder slump. They gonna send you out there with your chest out. That's how they doing. Give a shout out to Mario Button Boulevards. He got his on the stoop, newsletter as well. He moving and shaking. He doing his song. And give a shout out to Ojamal Bryant. No, what is it? Ojamal. I think he on YouTube as well as TikTok, and he might be on Facebook as well. Give a shout out to my man's Kareem. I think he got Bully Tech and some other things going on. He on I want to say TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. They on all sorts of platforms, man. And we'll give a big shout out to Sunrise Kitchen, Bath, and Closets. Your day can't start without the sunrise. They transforming your homes and they making the process of remodeling simple. They got 3 locations. One on Mercury Boulevard in Hampton, one in Chesapeake, and the other in Virginia Beach. Now, Indiana Pacer game tied up. It's tied up 2-2. So it ain't no telling. I think another game come on tomorrow. And guess what I just watched, y'all? I just watched this Lego documentary about Pharrell Williams. It was kind of, I didn't know how to take it because it was Legos. I ain't never see a documentary I ain't never see a documentary in Legos. It was alright, but it was kind of ay. And Joe maybe it went over my head or something, but a documentary in Legos, wow. But I'm about to get out of here, man. Y'all take it easy, man.